Hi everyone, it's Ali again, this time with a fairly simple card using some stamps from Altenew. So the stamp sets that I'm going to be using today are two stamp sets from Altenew. There's Coffee Talk, which is the one with most of the sentiments, and then Coffee Love, which is the ones with the coffee cup and the coffee mug and that sort of thing. And I'm going to use the Step Aside Water. This is a job for coffee, so it's two separate stamps, and then a coffee mug and a coffee pot from the other set. And I'm going to stencil directly onto my card base. I'm going to keep it quite simple. Not a lot of layers in this one, just using a stencil from my favourite things, the Sunrays stencil. And I'm just, as I said, going to put that directly onto my card base. I was thinking I was going to use two inks, but I only ended up using one of the inks, which I think was the Squeeze Lemonade in the end. So I'm just securing the stencil down there with some micropore tape, just so it doesn't move around while I'm sponging it. And then I'm just going to grab those two inks, but as I said, I only used the Squeeze Lemonade in the end. I wanted to keep that light yellow colour like a sunrise. And just ink up the sponge and just move it across the stencil. I don't want it to go all the way across, so I'm just putting the darkest part that's closest to the sort of centre of the sun and then swiping out gently. And then just keep going till you're happy with the coverage of the ink. And then just remove the stencil, and there's the sun rays. And so I'm just using the coffee pot and one of the coffee cups from the Coffee Love stamp set from Altenew, which I really like. I've made quite a few cards using this set. And then I'm just grabbing out the sentiment as well from the Coffee Talk stamp set. And I'm actually using my precision press from We Are Memory Keepers, which I've only just bought. And I'm just going to stamp up the coffee pot and the coffee mug with my Memento ink because I want to colour it in with Copics later on. And I'm quite happy with the stamp press. I've modified it so I can use my magnets with it from my Misty, my old magnets. I did buy a new magnet for my Misty, and I'm using my old magnets on the stamp press, which is really handy. And now I'm just going to colour in the coffee pot and the mug with my Copics. And I've just used only two Copics on each one. I didn't want to go too overboard with the colouring, and I've used the lightest shade is E23, and then I've used an E57 brown as well to come in and just give a little bit of a darker area in the coffee pot. And as I said, I didn't spend an awful lot of time on the Copic colouring. I've just gone over it quite quickly. And then I've just gone in there with the C00 grey, just so that it's not stark white, the other part of the coffee pot, the glass part. And then I'm just going in with the YO2 yellow and a slightly darker yellow, the YO6, just to cover the coffee mug. And then once I was happy with the colouring, I just fussy cut them out. I don't have dies for this set, so it doesn't take long to fussy cut them. They're not that difficult. And then I'm just working up my placement on the card there. And getting out, I've already got out my sentiment, but just the Step Aside Water. This is a job for coffee. A lot of the sentiments on that set are really humorous. They're really quite great. I like it a lot. And then I'm just going to adhere my coffee pot and coffee mug onto the front of the card. I think I just used a roller glue tape. And then I'm popping up the coffee cup with a little bit of 3D mounting foam so that it sits in front of the coffee pot a little bit. And then I'm just going to stamp my sentiment. And I've just used I think it was a Vintage Photo Distress ink to stamp that, stamp the words. And I did stamp it twice, I think, to get a nice coverage, because the distress inks don't always stamp up that clearly, so I often have to stamp them twice, which is the great thing about having the stamp positioner or the stamp press, or whatever version you're using. Oh no, I did use an Altenew ink, sorry. And it was the Mocha, I think it was, yeah. So not the darkest shade, the next one along, next lightest shade in that set. And then that is pretty much it for my card. There wasn't much else to it. I'm just using a mono sand eraser there that I got from Simon Says Stamp. It just gets rid of any little smudges of ink. It's really great and it doesn't leave any marks. And then I decided I wanted to finish it off to make it look like glass, that coffee pot. I wanted to finish it off with some glossy accents. So I'm just covering the coffee pot completely with that and allowing that to dry. So that's the card. I hope you enjoyed it. Just a quick one for today. And if you love coffee, it's probably a great one to give to a friend who also loves coffee. And I will see you next time.